This is 3 News Daily.
Hello everyone, welcome back to 3 News Daily on this Tuesday, May 30th. After the long holiday weekend, we want to say, of course, that we take a moment to remember the people who gave all for Memorial Day, and we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But we start today with developing news. The Summit County Sheriff's Office says the inmate you see here on your screen has escaped. Jason Conrad was taken to Summa Health White Pond Medical Center in Akron for treatment at around 8 this morning, and he took off as he got out of the transport vehicle. The sheriff says Conrad has several drug charges and a parole violation, so if you have any information about where he might be, please call the Summit County Sheriff's Office. We're staying on this story today, and we'll let you know any updates tonight. Now here's an update on an inmate who escaped from a Lima correctional facility. That man was found dead yesterday. U.S. Marshals say they found 50-year-old Brian Gillespie's body in the Ohio River in Henderson, Kentucky. That's the last place he was seen alive. Gillespie escaped with another inmate, James Lee, last week. Lee was recaptured not long after they escaped and has been back in police custody. Now in University Heights, we expect to hear more details from police on a deadly 2-car crash from Saturday. That crash happened on Cedar Road late Saturday afternoon, and both of those cars went up in flames. 2 people died after the crash. We can tell you one of the victims was Marlon Emery from South Euclid. Turning now to North Ridgeville, where police had to say goodbye to a canine officer. The department said in a social media post, Canine Leo, who died on May 25th, used his paws to enforce the laws for 7.5 years. Police say he was certified in narcotics and patrol work, but that Leo had been dealing with kidney failure for some time. They say Leo will be greatly missed. And we are thankful today to tell you that more than 80 dogs have been removed from what witnesses called deplorable conditions, and now they'll have a chance at a better future. This is all thanks to a diligent deputy and dedicated Richland Humane Society workers and volunteers. 3 News' Emma Henderson has that story.
Crate after crate after crate of dogs fills the Richland County Humane Society following an unprecedented seizure of more than 80 dogs from one household.
It's definitely overwhelming. We have a great staff, we have a great board of directors, and we have a community that wants to help, so it's been a godsend.
And while 80 is a lot for a humane society with a capacity of about 2 dozen, they're anticipating more.
A lot of the dogs are pregnant, so one of the dogs gave birth yesterday to 3 puppies, so it's kind of like an ongoing situation.
Now comes more than 80 vet checkups, vaccinations, making sure they're spayed and neutered before they can be adopted into their new homes, and better living conditions than where they were found.
The main thing was there was a horse trailer that was sitting out in the yard that had 13 dogs stacked in cages. And it was just absolutely deplorable inside, no air quality, and just caked with all kinds of dirt and waste.
The community support has been tremendous, from people donating time and money. This county is coming together to make sure the dogs have a better quality of life.
We're making it work. We're going to have, reach out for fosters in the near future and get them into good environments.
Emma Henderson, 3 News.
Thank you for that story, Emma. You hate to see that kind of treatment, but very thankful that those dogs have been rescued from that situation. And the Humane Society, by the way, says they'll be closed for the near future. Obviously, they have a lot of work to do to process those dogs and then gather more resources to take care of them. So we'll keep you posted when these dogs become available for adoption. All right, moving now to politics. President Joe Biden has reached a deal with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to address the national debt limit, avoiding a potentially catastrophic default. Thank goodness. The plan is to suspend putting a limit on borrowing until early 2025. Then the limit will go up by 1%. And between now and then, federal spending will tighten. Tomorrow now, Congress will meet to vote on this 2-year bipartisan agreement. All right, now it's time for our question of the day. You know, there's a lot of concern over artificial intelligence, and right now Microsoft is preparing to launch a new AI feature. But experts are warning that if AI and artificial general intelligence, known as AGI, go unchecked, those consequences could be serious. So we want to know, how do you think AI and AGI should be regulated? Post your comment to the WKYC Facebook page. We'll talk about that during What's New at 4 o'clock. And now, as we look back to the events of the weekend, for Memorial Day, you know, we honor people who made the ultimate sacrifice while serving our country. A special ceremony was held at Lakeview Cemetery yesterday. It was at the James A. Garfield Memorial. President Garfield is the one who gave the first Memorial Day address. That was on May 30th, 1868. Hundreds of families and veterans were there to pay their respects. And a separate Memorial Day service was held yesterday at Cleveland's North Coast Harbor on North Marginal Road. The USS Cod is docked there, and that service was hosted by the Fleet Reserve Association of Cleveland and the United States Submarine Veterans. And today, services were held at the Soldiers and Sailors Monument in Public Square. Today's ceremony commemorates not only Memorial Day, but the original holiday, which was called Decoration Day, and that was always held on May 30th. All right, on to gas prices now, because there are a lot of you out there on the roads coming home from your Memorial Day trips. Gas Buddy reports that prices have been pretty stable here in Cleveland. Drivers are paying an average of $3.49 per gallon this week. In Akron, though, there's been a 3-cent drop over the past week. Drivers are now paying an average of $3.45 per gallon there. And for context, by the way, these prices are almost a whole $1 lower than this time last year. Now, the weather is absolutely beautiful out there today, and the Cleveland Metroparks have a bunch of outdoor activities for you and your family to enjoy. The Cleveland Metroparks boat taxi is now up and running. That's a free boat ride to and from the east and west bank of the flats. You can rent stand-up paddleboards, kayaks, and canoes from the Hinckley Lake Boathouse. Get out there while you can. The reservation closes at the end of the summer season for improvements. Of course, there are great food options and views of Lake Erie at Merwin's Worth and East 55th on the lake. Both of those specialize in locally sourced menu items. And if you're looking for a spot to swim, you can go to Edgewater Beach, Huntington Beach, and Hinckley Lake Spillway, just to name a few options. Now, those spots have lifeguards on duty every day from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. starting Saturday through August 13th. And the Ledge Pool in Hinckley has a lifeguard on duty Monday through Friday, noon to 6 p.m. and 11 to 7 p.m. on the weekends. And also, boating season has now officially begun, but fun on the water does come with risks. So we want to help you make safety a top priority. According to experts, the first thing you need to do before getting out on that boat is prepare. That means know your boat, know the path you want to take, and check weather apps or check in with our 3 meteorology team to avoid the choppy waters or potential storms. Another thing boaters should consider before hitting the water is training, so you're ready for whatever might happen. There are lots of courses available that break down what to do in specific situations. You can find options for those on ohiodnr.gov. And we've got a special riverboat docked here in Cleveland today. The Pearl Mist River Cruiser came into port around 6 this morning. It'll be heading out with its guests around 8 o'clock tonight. The Pearl Mist cruise started in Toronto, and the other stops on its 11-day run include Ontario, Niagara Falls, Michigan, and Milwaukee. Happy to have those visitors with us. Welcome to Cleveland. All right, now it's time for a trip into nature, and who better to take us there than the wonderful Mike Polk Jr. He's got a look inside the Holden Arboretum's new Nature Connects exhibit. Check it out.
You might know that an arboretum is a fancy tree garden. You probably also know that the Holden Arboretum in Kirkland is a local treasure featuring acres and acres of botanical gardens and classic trees like the red oak, the American chestnut, and the wild crabapple. But wait, what's this thing all about? That's not usually here. Usually it's just great trees like the sassafras, the dawn redwood, and the weeping European beech. So where did these striking Lego brick creations come from all of a sudden? Don't get me wrong, they're really impressive, but how did these things get mixed in with all of my favorite trees? Like the swamp white oak, the river birch, and the Japanese maple. Fortunately, I found someone with some answers.
I'm Beth Kelly. I'm the Director of Guest Experience here at Holden Forests and Gardens.
I am having a great guest experience so far.
Wonderful.
Tell us about the hot new thing we got going down at the Arb.
Sure. So our newest exhibition, it's called Nature Connects, and it is a series of sculptures created by Brooklyn artist Sean Kenny, completely out of Lego bricks.
From now until September 4th, as visitors explore the lush Arboretum grounds, in addition to encountering rad trees like the cornelian cherry dogwood, the shagbark hickory, and the ice cream banana, they will also be greeted by a giant monarch butterfly, a spectacular milk snake and an all but doomed mouse, an eternal struggle bird versus squirrel tableau, a lifelike gardener, and other remarkable creations.
The sculptures are located all around the grounds.
This is along a nice walk. About how long is the walk to see the whole exhibit?
It is. It's about a mile.
Okay.
We actually have a rototiller as well. So it's not just nature, but items that are somewhat related. And there's also a photo op on site that depicts a fox hunting a rabbit. A lot of fun and a great opportunity for, adults, kids, anybody who likes that stuff.
So if you're the type of person who enjoys both impressive sculptures depicting various flora and fauna built with over 350,000 simple toy blocks, and awe-inspiring conifers like the Canadian hemlock, the Serbian spruce, and the eastern white pine, boy, is this the place for you.
Do you have a personal favorite exhibit out of all of these?
I think mine is the praying mantis. It's a little bit hidden.
Yeah.
It's well camouflaged.
You're right, that thing is fantastic.
Yeah.
It also might kind of haunt my dreams, which is kind of what I go for. I'm into that, you know?
That's what we want. We want this exhibition to stay with you.
And of course, I couldn't leave without offering my own humble contribution.
I actually made this bad boy myself for you to exhibit.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you.
Mike, that's lovely.
I mean, I'm just gonna leave it here. You can put it,
Okay.
I was thinking like maybe right over there next to the monarch butterfly. It might look nice.
Or
Okay.
we do actually have a nature creation station with some little display shelves. So if you'd like, we can put it up in the visitor
in
center.
there, like where the kids stuff goes. I was just thinking maybe more out here, but
Sure.
yeah, either one's fine, I guess, but probably out here definitely.
This is spruce enthusiast and amateur Legoist Mike Polk Jr. reporting for 3 News.
I have to say that's a good looking snake. I think job well done there. But seriously, that praying mantis, that is impressive. Definitely worth getting out to the Holden Arboretum to check that out. All right, thanks for being with us for today's edition of 3 News Daily. Whether you're watching us on WKYC+, YouTube, Instagram, live on your TVs, or listening on your favorite podcast platform, we appreciate you. Thanks for being with us. We'll be back here tomorrow with more of your top stories from Northeast Ohio. Hopefully you can enjoy this beautiful Tuesday.